Hello, doll friends. This is Michael Kanadas with the Grovian Doll Museum and Carmel Doll Shop. I have a little special program for you today. One of my favorite lines in movies is "Come back to me." It's just a line that starts a whole series of events in a lovely film. And as a collector, I am very, very patient. I will wait a long time to get something that I have my heart fixed on. This doll here, this beautiful Broo, we've shown it in many programs before. Second Empire, Splendor, our Broo programs. And I always point out that this doll, with its hat and beautiful costume, belonged to the family that made hats for the Broo Company. And I've known this doll since I was 21 years old, and that's quite a while. And during the last program that we had, I thought, that's it, I'm not taking her out of her cabinet again. Well, the interesting thing that happened is when this doll was bought in France in the 1970s, other hats were bought with her. And I knew of their existence, and they were never offered to me, and they floated around from various places, but now they've come back to me. So I'm very excited to show them to you, because I think the main thing about them is that they're in such pristine condition because they were never played with, and kept probably. I don't know why the family kept them and didn't sell them. Maybe they were prototypes. But I think what's very interesting, if we look at this Broo banner, and this was probably a very large piece, we can see the doll right here, which I believe is a bébé riche. And when you look at the brim of this hat, it's virtually the same. So this is a very exciting thing to add these three chapeaus to our collection. Now, I've washed my hands very thoroughly, so I'm not going to soil this, but look at the condition. It is like it was created just yesterday. And very, very interesting that I can feel by just gently touching it that the form is made out of buckram. So it's a very simple, almost like a bucket shape with a little bit of a brim. Now, not very often do we see velvet from the 1880s in this condition. And this is silk velvet as opposed to cotton velvet. This, in the 19th century, was the most expensive fabric. And if you can find 100% silk velvet today, it still is the most expensive. But look at the genius of the coloration of how they used red, and they would add burgundy here and pinks, all in the same family, and come out beautifully. So I'm very excited to have this. And so this, now the interesting thing is, I think that these hats, because of the time frame, they could have gone on either a bébé or a fashion doll, although they were kind of slightly phasing out the fashion dolls, heading towards the bébé. And here's a little smaller size, and I would imagine this is about a size 4 Broo Jeune, if it were a less, no flower decoration, but still the beautiful feathers. And then the straw, which I think is, the straw, which is similar to our Lady Doll's straw, and she has a green lining. It has the blue lining. And what I think is very interesting is, look at this, the genius of the 19th century dressmaking. This was probably the fabric that the costume was made out of. but they used the wrong side out to create interest and texture. It's just fantastic. And then look at these tiny, tiny, artificial flowers. I mean, if we could get these today, it would be just a wonderful thing. And again, this is just basically the same shape as this, but it's done in straw. So I would imagine that they had a form that they would shape this on, the same form that they used for the buckram. But I wanted to share these with you because it's not often that we see these types of millinery from this time frame in this condition, all with the same provenance, and they've all come back together. So David, not that long ago, asked me, what do you want for your birthday? And I didn't quite know, but I figured it out. It'll be these 3 hats will do it. Now, this does cause us a little conundrum here. We have to put these somewhere. So it's time for us to rearrange the brew case and add these into our collection with the dolls and the little extra costumes and whatnot. So anyways, take screenshots of these pieces when you go to Costume Your Bébé or Fashion Doll. Here is a absolute original brew piece that we're thrilled to have. All right, doll friends, we'll be back later with more. Bye-bye. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.